Google, Facebook, Apple, all settled in Silicon Valley and sitting on fat stacks of cash. Your cash. And you might have wondered if there's a way we can knock these guys down a peg. Not only that, but how do we get stinking filthy rich in the process? Well, in the interests of not getting my channel terminated and YouTube is owned by Google, I will say that I do not endorse stealing. And with that, today we are going to talk about how to get rich and a few ideas that you can think about. But you know what? They're just ideas, folks. Some of these are probably not ethical and I would not recommend. So maybe you take some of these ideas, maybe you don't, but I ain't got nothing to do with it. You do you, boo. First up, giant tech companies. What if you could make a pretty penny from them? And I don't mean spending 45 years of your life working your way up the corporate ladder. How about just stealing? That sounds terrible out loud, but there we are. This seems like quite the challenge, with these companies already being so invested in our daily lives and being the primary search engine and selling of personal data, I mean social media sites on the internet. How can you possibly get away with planning something like this though? I mean, these companies have got devices in your homes listening to everything you're doing. I'm pretty sure that my phone is listening to me right now as I record this, wondering, what the hell is he on about? But yes, every time that you've got your Alexa or your Google Nest or whatever device you may have in your home listening to everything that's happening. So yes, that device is even listening to you when you're singing along to Neil Diamond in the shower. Google knows. So, stop working your 3 jobs just to afford rent and listen to this. A Lithuanian man called Evaldas Rimanasasu that decided it would be a swell idea to swindle these tech giants, Google and Facebook, into transferring roughly $100 million to accounts he controlled. $100 million, life-changing money. Or to Google, toilet paper money. So it's the kind of money you'd find between the cushions of your sofa, fishing for loose change. Surely that would not be missed so much by a company like Google. Well, a company at the time of recording this video is worth an estimated $1.9 trillion. Like I said, peanuts to them. So what happened? Although he was involved in the running of the company that controlled several of these accounts at banks in Latvia and Cyprus, but posing as a company named Qantas Computer, a Taiwanese hardware company that was previously done business with Google and Facebook, it was easy to slide in and have their trust to basically swindle them of all this money. The plan was a lot simpler than you might think. For a $100 million fraud, you'd think this would be incredibly elaborate. But no, he basically sent fraudulent invoices to Facebook and Google over the course of a few years, dated back in 2013 and 2015. Based in Lithuania, he probably thought that he was safe to undertake his fraud and reap the benefits. However, you're messing with some of the most powerful and richest institutions in the world. If money's involved, your ass is getting caught one way or another. After money was wired from the tech companies to the bank accounts in Cyprus and Latvia, then they were very quickly wired into different accounts, effectively trying to facilitate fraud. And this went through various locations around the world, including Latvia, Cyprus, Slovakia, Lithuania, Hungary and Hong Kong. He would use mainstream banks, some of which were even based in New York, where he would forge documents to explain the large amounts of money that were being transferred. This seemingly worked for a time, until it didn't. Therefore, an indictment was filed in the US Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York in 2016, when he was eventually caught for this massive scheme. And, wouldn't you believe it, he was extradited for sentencing. So at this point the jig was up and he admitted to the multi-million-dollar fraud. This might sound very surprising that a company of that size would fall victim to a common email scam like this. But I'm sure everyone watching has had an email in the past where you take one look at it and think, well, someone that's only been learning English for 2 weeks clearly has written this email, so it's obviously not true. However, some emails are incredibly convincing. I, for one, have even been tricked into something before where I gave my Apple ID, but I haven't had an Apple phone for about 10 years at this point, so pointless, but still, it can happen, even to big tech companies. All you need is a slacking employee who has the access to $100 million, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, best of luck with that, pal. The other way to make it is just fake it till you make it. And what do I mean by this? Well, if you want to rub shoulders with the filthy stinking rich, then you gotta be part and you gotta blend in and manifest the lifestyle that you've wanted. So, how about you just max out your loans and credit cards, buy some expensive clothes and cars, and have enough bling to make people think that you're genuinely rich, when you're incredibly in debt. Surely that's gotta work. Right? This is only a possibility if you act fast, however, as my guess is that if you default on those payments, you're going to get your ass thrown in the slammer, and if you're going to do this, I don't recommend it, but if you do, work fast enough to get the money you need to legitimately pay off those bills and credit card loans. But that's all well and good, but how does one acquire the money once you're rubbing shoulders with the elite? Once you've driven up that driveway and Bill Gates sees that you have a Bugatti, what then? How does one mingle with the elite? Well, here's a list of richest people on Earth, and I think there's a common trend here that I just can't seem to put my finger on. Well, if you're watching and you're not a white male, then I'm sorry, but you've already fallen at the first hurdle, because all of the world's richest are white men. I mean, sure, you could do this and legitimately work your way up to the top of the business, but that never really works, does it? I mean, it sounds good having legitimate business operations, and I totally get the point of becoming a millionaire or even a billionaire. It's not like the elite have a chokehold on the global economy and they have all the influence on the markets to make sure that we can't work our way up the ladder, because that would be almost criminal. Wouldn't it be just? Well, it would be if it were anyone else. But not them. Money can get you a lot. A lot. What I'm saying is that if you can work your way up to the top and make smart business investments that build your generational wealth, or the risk is high, but so's the reward, people. That way you can get close and then commit a horrendous crime of theft right under their nose. Hypothetically, of course, because I'm not endorsing that. Seriously. Either that, or if you can't beat them, join them and marry into wealth. Then just wait for them to croak it or just do the job yourself. Yeah, I mean, unless anyone else has any bright ideas of how to get rich, you could, I don't know, leave them in the comments of this video for everybody to see, but mainly me. I mean, I don't need it, because I already have plans. I already know. But just for everyone else's benefit, I think you should do it. Totally won't read them myself. Like, comment, subscribe. Daddy's getting a new yacht. Don't terminate me, Google.